With the rejuvenation of the entire Star Wars franchise over the past few years, it's no surprise that we've seen dozens of Star Wars fan films pop up recently. A good amount of these fan films really just consist of a dramatic lightsaber fight, some good and some just okay. There's even a film competition for lightsaber choreography in short films. But aside from those, there's a handful of people who have taken an approach to fan films aiming to tell brief stories of characters affected by the events of the movies, but often apart from those actual events. Regardless of if these films told a completely original story or added a little bit to existing Star Wars characters, here's a handful of Star Wars fan films that you should definitely watch. Cara is a film about a young girl and her father just trying to make it through the desert to a rebel base when a battle between X-Wings and TIE fighters breaks out above them. They eventually come across a downed rebel pilot who agrees to help them get the rest of the way to the base. What stands out about this film is that the acting is actually pretty decent, especially for a fan film. Both the father and daughter give convincing enough performances, and the music that goes along with it all is pretty solid. Even with minimal dialogue and a fairly simplistic story, it still manages to really pull you in. Star Wars Liberation tells the story of an Imperial prisoner who's being strong-armed into completing a mission for the Empire. It appears to be set around many of the same events that we're all pretty sure are going to take place in the upcoming Rogue One. This, however, offers a significantly different take on it all. While the story of this film is decent enough, the special effects are what really make this one stand out. It's got visuals and effects that could almost pass for those of an actual Star Wars movie, or at the very least, on the level of the updated effects we got in the special editions of the original trilogy. Troops is a little bit of an older fan film made in the mold of the TV show Cops, only here it's focusing on some stormtroopers on the planet Tatooine. It does a really good job to parody Cops in the way that certain encounters like these actually go down, but also weaves in actual characters and story from the films in a creative way, even offering a new twist on how one semi-major plot point actually occurred. In a sea of fan films aiming for a dark, gritty, and serious tone, this one is a very refreshing change of pace. Way to the Rebellion is about a couple guys who notice a sudden Imperial presence near their home. One of them finds a kyber crystal near a mine that the Imperials have occupied, and it suddenly becomes clear what the Imperials are likely up to. From there, these guys start entertaining the idea of joining the Rebellion, but that won't happen without taking a big risk along the way, and during that whole quest, they get some serious motivation to fight the Empire. Out of all the films I've watched, this one has probably the best acting, especially with as much dialogue as there is. It's well written and has a natural flow to it all that really helps draw you into the characters and their story. And the musical score is great as well. Jakku First Wave takes place during the Battle of Jakku, focusing on a trio of soldiers about to head into the battlefield, along with their thoughts and emotions in fighting for the Empire, or at least what's left of it at the time. It offers a really cool perspective on humanizing stormtroopers, and in my opinion is one of the best examples of the potential in storytelling that's out there in the Star Wars universe that I hope gets explored more by Lucasfilm over time. Lastly is Darth Maul Apprentice, of which it's a pretty good chance you've already seen it, given that as of the time this video is being made, it was at around 11 million views. While so many of these short films rely heavily on lightsaber choreography, this one does it as well as any, while also showing off a pretty cool perspective about just how powerful Darth Maul was before the events of Episode 1, at least in this film's interpretation of things. Amid a handful of elements that this short film does really well, maybe my favorite part is how it serves as a pretty fitting prequel story to the prequel trilogy. And with Darth Maul very much still in play within current Star Wars canon, it's pretty cool to at least have a story like this to attach to him for before the events of the movies. So that's just a handful of the short films I wanted to talk about, but there's plenty more out there too. If you have any that you particularly enjoyed, please share them in the comments below, and maybe down the road I'll do another video just like this one. Also, make sure you leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and above all else, thanks so much for watching, everybody.